Hi, my name's Danny. My presentation today is going to be about gardening. I thought about how I can go about this. We have to talk about a problem, cause, and solution. And gardening is something that I really like to do. I like going outside, getting my own crops, and everything tastes so much better when it's fresh. And I thought, well, how can that be a solution? And it led me to the whole fact that U.S. is actually the leading country in the world right now with obesity. Um, believe it was according to the CDC, the Central of Disease Control. In 2020, the U.S. was at 41.9% um, from the whole population of people that had obesity. They listed it on their website as one third of the population, one out of every three adults. But when you listen to it, pretty much at 42% obesity rate, that's closer to the 50%, which would be half of Americans, at least half of adults, because they were going based off adults. If you look at how things were back then to how things are now, back then growing up for the generation that's older, back in the days we used to run around playing outside and everything, and a lot of things changed from the way we used to do things back then to the way we did things now. We used to get together with the neighborhood kids, run around, play. We'd be outside all the time. We didn't have telephones, tablets, all these things that the new generation currently has. And due to the lack of that technology, we were able to be outside, be more active, want to go and do those things. Nowadays, with the rise of technology, it has changed so much. Kids don't want to go outside, and an example I can actually give you is I was talking to my cousin and her husband about their son when they first moved into their home. Uh, their kid would go outside with the neighborhood um, children in the area, and after a few weeks, he would stop going out. They asked him, "Hey, what's going on? Is everything okay? You're not going outside to play with anybody." His thing is that no, I don't want to go outside. They only want to go up and play tag. They want to go run around. His thing is he was stuck on his phone, and that's a problem that a lot of us have right now. A lot of the generation, we have all this technology, having the internet, the information highway at our fingertips makes us not want to go do much. You want to find out about this bug, look it up. You want to find out about this flower, look it up. It's on your phone. And even then, not just with the phones stopping you from going out to play and doing all this other stuff. Even when it comes to getting food, people use their phone. They order their food. They don't go to the grocery stores. I remember growing up, I used to go to the store with my mom and dad, walk up and down all the aisles just to see what we needed. And we wouldn't obviously get everything in every aisle, but it was good to browse around. You get ideas like, oh, I'm gonna try this next time. You get something for a few certain meals, and that was it. And that few times just walking up and down all the aisles, that's you being active. That's you doing things. And even though you think about it now, um, at the time at least, you think back on it, and at the time you didn't see it as working out, but by you walking to your school, walking back, walking up and down the aisles at the grocery stores, all these things kept us active, kept us moving. There were small things, but they were important things. And nowadays, people don't do that anymore. They just go on their phone, start browsing. Oh, I want this. Add that to my shopping cart. Add this to my shopping cart. Add this other thing to my shopping cart. Okay, pay. Gets delivered. They never left their bed. They were laying down in their PJs under the blanket the entire time. And even though they're still ordering things, that's not as bad as Uber Eats. Now they're getting piles of grease delivered to their home. The problem is we have a huge number of people that are suffering from obesity. And the main, in my opinion at least, the main problem with this is that we are being told it's okay, you're still beautiful. But the thing is, though, that this has nothing to do with beauty. This has everything to do with your life, with your health. And you can still be beautiful because it's who you are on the inside, not on the outside. So them telling you you're fat and beautiful doesn't mean anything. The thing is that we need to let people know. We need to tell them, even if they don't want to hear it. If you're big, you're unhealthy. And a lot of people might not like to talk about this. It could offend the wrong person, whatever. It doesn't matter. The fact is that you're unhealthy. You don't go around telling people with cancer, hey, keep it cancer. You don't need treatment. You're good. No. If you're ill with anything else, doctor visits, medicine, medication, treatments, all these other things. And obesity is no different. There's people that are getting these handicap plaques and nothing wrong with them except they're overweight and it's hard for them to walk. There's people that are bedridden and then they become even more ill because of their lack of movement. So this is a problem we have right now in the US. And one of the best solutions I can think of is gardening. Why gardening? The reason for it is because when you're gardening, first off, you have to be active. You have to plow the land. You have to treat the crops, attend to them, and do all these other things to maintain them. That's already going to keep you active as it is. But another problem that's leading to this obesity is all the chemicals that are being pumped into our food. Chickens are being pumped with all these hormones, and the thing is, a lot of young females now are developing more than sooner than what they used to do back before. But it's because of all these hormones that are being pumped into our food that is being fed to the children. On top of it, the food you get is never fresh. They didn't just go to the back of the Walmart, Food for Less, or wherever you're getting your meat from, kill the animal and give it to you right then and there. There is a whole huge process that goes into keeping the food looking as fresh as it can until it gets to your home. The pesticides in your fruits, according to the website, I've seen it in lots of other things, but the website I use for this speech is New Food Magazines. There's a lot of pesticides in our foods, and those chemicals are not good for us. The chemicals within our meat, you can look this up on the United States Environmental Protection Agency website. There are lots of chemicals in your meat that are going into it to keep it fresh. And these things are not things that are natural for us to consume. If we were to get these chemicals, just the chemical on its own, they would not advise you to eat it, but yet they're mixing it into your foods and they're having you eat it. By gardening, you're able to make sure that all these pesticides that are on your meals are not there because you are treating it. You know what's going on to it. And just to go beyond gardening, you can also go ahead and have a few livestock, like things like chicken, for example. You can make sure that they don't have all these hormones and all these other things when you decide if that's something you're fine with, because people are different with this stuff. If you decide that you do want to kill some of the chicken to get the meats, to get the chicken itself, that's something that you can do. It's for each individual, but you know that if you do it, it will be healthy. It will be clean from all these poisons that they're shoving down our throats. So, in conclusion, I believe gardening is gonna be the way to go in general for us, for our future, because all these chemicals are making us be ill with all these other things. They're poisoning our bodies. And the only way to ensure that you do not have all these unnecessary things inside of you is if you grow it yourself. If you grow it yourself, you know what's going to be going in your own body. And the benefit to it is amazing. I can go outside, pick my own pomegranates, get my own avocados right now. I grow melons, strawberries, onion, green onion. The other day, my wife was making breakfast. Told my daughter, hey, go get us some cilantro and green onions. She went outside with some scissors, cut some, brought them in. Fresh, delicious. So if gardening is not something you're into, you're looking for alternatives, don't want to spend a bunch of money on other pesticide filled foods, things filled with preservatives. If you start gardening, it can also save your wallets. It'll save you money on top of saving your life in the long run.